What's up, guys? It's Josh back here from Inside Wrestling Truth. Um, Before I get into this video, I would really like to just send thanks to the Iceman, Jeffrey Rose, for the video that he made today, and those kind words. Um, you know, that was really cool of him to do, and there are some good people here on YouTube like that, and I really appreciate him taking the time to first off make that video and speak highly of me like that. That's cool. Um, and if you're watching my channel and you never went and watched this channel, definitely go sub and definitely go check out his channels, Jeffrey Rose and the Iceman's Return, I believe. Yeah, Iceman's Return. Um, really good channels. I've always been a big fan of them. But today, the video at hand, we're going to talk about. Now, this was really hard, but we're going to talk about my top 5 technically sound wrestlers. Wrestlers that could really work. Could work on like good submission wrestlers, like a technical wrestler. And these are my top 5 since 1980. I know there will be some people that won't agree with me. These are just my top 5, in my opinion. And these are all guys that I thought were really good technical wrestlers. Could make anybody else look good, and were really good wrestlers. Number 5 on my list is Dean Malenko. I know a lot of people probably will be surprised that he is in my top 5, but he is. It was either going to be him or Eddie Guerrero. I know a lot of people would have picked Eddie Guerrero at this spot, but I picked Dean Malenko. Dean Malenko is by far one of the most underrated wrestlers of all time. He could wrestle with anybody. He's the man of 1,000 holds. His matches with Eddie Guerrero in the original ECW were some of the best matches that I ever seen. Dean Malenko is also a guy that really never gets no love. You never hear about him. But he was a master in the ring, and he's a guy that that's really high on my list, because if you go back and watch his matches, he can make other people look good. He can work with anybody. Dean Malenko's size, I believe, is what pretty much held him down. But yeah, like the Texas Cloverleaf. Believe that was his finisher, if I can remember correctly. But watching this guy work, great wrestler. He's in my top 5 technically sound wrestlers, and Dean Malenko comes in at number 5. Number 4, all right, I picked Owen Hart. I know a lot of guys that think Owen was better than Bret, and I said this on a previous video. They were both so great, but Owen was always in Bret's shadow. If you go back and watch some of Owen's matches, great technical wrestler. We come from the dungeon, so he knows submission wrestling. He was one of the first guys that I can remember doing like the high flying, moves before it was real famous here in the United States. He was the first of one of the first of his kind, and definitely deserving of the Hall of Fame. I had a lot of respect for Owen Hart. Sad to see him die the way he did. But he's number 4 on my list, and yeah, Owen Hart number 4. Now my top 3, this is where it's going to get a little controversial, probably for some people. But once again, this is just my opinion. Um, Number 3 on my list is Kurt Angle. Um, a lot of people probably think I should probably maybe have Shawn Michaels at this spot, and I'll go ahead and let you know Shawn Michaels is not in my top 5. But I put Kurt Angle at number 3. What else do I need to say about Kurt Angle? I mean, he's an 1996 gold medalist. He's another one that can work with anybody, and he can work for a very long time in a match. Um, you know, I felt like when Kurt Angle came out, he was really one of the guys to bring technical wrestling back and really make it a big deal. Um, his match with Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania was phenomenal. He's had some incredible matches with Brock Lesnar, The Rock, Steve Austin, etc. Kurt Angle, in my opinion, is one of the best technical wrestlers of all time. Uh, so I had to put him at the number 3 slot. 3 and 4 between Kurt Angle and Owen was a toss-up. This list was not easy, man. But yeah, Kurt Angle in at the number 3 spot. Number 2 spot on my list, I went with Mr. Perfect, Curt Hennig. If you go back and watch some of those matches that he had with Bret Hart, when he had matches with Owen as a Blue Blazer, I believe it was WrestleMania 5. It was one of the most underrated matches of the night. Mr. Perfect could get in there, get it done. One of the most pure, gifted athletes I ever seen wrestle. He comes from a wrestling family, of course. But I put Mr. Perfect at 2. You know, just go back and, for you new fans, go back and watch the Mr. Perfect matches and just watch the wrestling that he brought to the ring on any given night. He was phenomenal. He was a great Intercontinental Champion. But yeah, I put Mr. Perfect at number 2. Okay, here's number 1. Now, I did the number 1 by, I just kind of looked over like what they had done in their career and their work in the ring, and for being original with the wrestling moves. So my number 1 technical wrestler of all time is Bret Hart. I know a lot of Bret Hart haters that are going to hate that pick, and then a lot of people are going to be like, how come Shawn Michaels isn't on this list? How come Ric Flair isn't on this list? It's very hard, but I put Bret Hart at number 1 because Bret Hart was so great at what he did. Go back and watch his matches. Like he would work on a body part and continue, and using the leg for his finisher, the sharpshooter. Bret was WWF champion. I can remember when Bret Hart carried the WWF when nobody else would. Just an awesome, awesome wrestler. When I think of technical wrestling, the first guy that always pops in my head is Bret Hart. I mean, his career speaks for itself. His in-ring work speaks for itself. Bret Hart, for me, was an easy pick for number 1. But those are my top 5 technically sound wrestlers. We have Dean Malenko, Owen Hart, Kurt Angle, Mr. Perfect, and Bret Hart. That's just my opinion. Once again, feel free to subscribe. I hope you like this video. I'd like to give a shout out to all of my new subscribers that I got today. Feel free to comment on this video. Let me know who your top 5 technical wrestlers of all time are. But this is Josh here from Inside Wrestling Truth, and I'm about to sign out. Take care, guys. Peace.